Good morning, everybody. I'm John. In the background, you can see Noelle. We're with Rescued Rollers, and today is October 11th, 2025. Good morning, and welcome to our morning coffee with the crew. Now, the reason we're doing this is we have a lot of our local people, our local supporters want to come visit us and spend some time with the dogs. And this way, we open it up to everybody, no matter where you're at. Sometimes pictures don't do justice, like with Mila or the way Journey moves. And so our goal today is grab yourself a cup of coffee, because that's what we're doing. Pull up a chair. If you want to see the dogs or you have a question about a specific dog or something we do with the rescue, let me know. We're happy to answer anything at all. And Noelle's here with her laptop. She's going to manage the comments. I can't see comments coming through, but she can. So please, if you're jumping on, say hello and just tell us what state you're coming in from. I know we have a lot of long-term supporters coming on, and I'm familiar with a lot of you, but we also have a lot of new people lately. So just say hello, introduce yourself, and if you have questions about the particular dogs, go ahead and ask whatever you want to ask. And then after they all get settled, because this is a little new for them this morning, there's commotion going on, right? Once they all get settled, then we'll talk a little bit about Cooper, who's going to be joining us next Saturday. He'll be joining the rescue next Saturday. More than likely, he'll be on our next coffee with the crew in November. Now, for reference, very close to the camera, you see Mila's tail. That is the top of our handicap ramp, our wheelchair ramp. So Hawkeye is just now going down the ramp. We have it blocked off from Mila so she doesn't accidentally roll down the ramp. Once we get settled and get Mila calmed down a little bit, we can remove this block, this gate. But if you see a dog that looks like they're running underneath the camera, that's right on top of the platform where the wheelchair ramp is. And we'll show you that here in a few minutes. So they're just coming down and going to go down the ramp. That's what you see.
Nancy from West Virginia says good morning, beautiful crew.
Hi, is that Nancy Hurley?
Yes, it is.
Hi, Nancy. Good morning. Thank you. We're going to give it a few minutes for some people to get on. Since there's a lot of new people, I'm going to talk very briefly about the individual dogs. All of them but one have special needs. And for those of you, if there's anybody else listening, Nancy is very familiar with Cooper. She has met him, and she is helping us with the transport next week. So big thank you going out to Nancy.
Patty Baco Temple from Pennsylvania.
Patty, how you doing? Journey's girl. Journey's right here. I don't know. She's hiding behind Mila. We'll get to her in a minute for you. How you doing, Patty? Good to see you.
Erin Juanita Kainama.
Erin, yes, she's a reasonably, I've been seeing her name lately. Good morning, Erin. Thanks for joining us.
Pennsylvania.
Also Pennsylvania. Thank you. We're going to give Mila, I know a few of you are new. Mila is the girl in a wheelchair. We've got to give her a few minutes to settle down. And if she doesn't, we'll move her off the deck. Mila was born with a brain disorder, a very, very severe case of hypoplasia. The right side of her brain never grew. So it's much smaller than the left side, and it's asymmetrical, so it's deformed. She's not paralyzed, as you can see. She gets around really well in this quad cart. However, the brain disorder, she doesn't have any fine motor control, any coordination. Without this wheelchair, she lays on her side on the ground. She cannot even sit or lay upright on her own, so she has to be in this chair for support. Now, aside from her physical issues, grab her please, she's running over Journey. Aside from her physical issues, it's also resulted in some developmental disorder. So although she's coming up on 5 years old, which is a miracle because we didn't know that she'd last a 1 year old, she probably has the mental capacity of a 14, 15, 16 week old puppy. routine is key for her, but she doesn't have a lot of self-control, and she doesn't have a lot of cognitive abilities, but she is a sweetheart. We have taken Mila for about 4 years now, and we visit nursing homes and hospitals in various groups, and she just loves going visiting. We've got a license plate for her chair that has her name on it, and we just go visit. And the people that are in wheelchairs themselves or have their own challenges, they really relate to Mila. And believe it or not, I know you won't believe me right now, but when she goes visiting, that's our code word for it. She's very calm, cool, collected. She's an amazing therapy type dog. And by the way, this commotion, this is a casual presentation for you guys. Hi, Wyatt. This is what we deal with on Saturday mornings when we're having our coffee on the deck with these guys, most mornings. So you're going to hear the dogs. That's Journey. You're going to hear the dogs barking at the neighbor's dogs. You might hear trains go by, sirens. This is all very casual. So welcome to our life, right?
Emily Anderson says good morning. Happy to
Emily.
see everyone.
Good morning, Emily. For those of you that don't know Emily, we've been friends for a long time. Emily had a wheelchair dog. Emily, correct me if I'm wrong, you're Virginia, correct? So, Emily had a wheelchair dog. And when he no longer needed the chair, she was kind enough to pass the chair along to us, so we refurbished it and gave it to another dog, the Great Pyrenees here in Ohio, actually. We've become friends. We've been friends for a long time. And I want to send a big thank you out to her because not only 5 years ago did she hold a big nightly event to raise money for us, like a gala, but in the last couple of months, she had a Sensi fundraiser and also Pampered Chef. And between those two events, she raised about $1,000. And it's thanks mainly to Emily that we can afford to bring Cooper in because we know we're going to have medical costs for his intake. So Emily, very glad to see you. Thank you.
Patty Bacco Temple says getting the dogs out to interact with individuals with special needs is fantastic. I commend you.
Thank you, Patty. And actually, Mila loves it. She turns into an entirely different dog when we go. We have visited hospitals, nursing homes, homeschool groups. We meet them in a park. Excuse me. But the biggest thing we have is we're in a very rural area, but about 40 minutes from us in either direction, there are two special needs organizations that work with mentally and physically challenged adults. So we have visited with both of those, and it's amazing. If you, excuse me, if you search back on Mila on our Facebook page, we do usually share pictures of those events. You could just put Mila visiting or something like that. It should come up. I think we did 2 around Christmas time last year. Those are 2 of the most recent ones you're going to find in terms of adults with challenges. But she does an amazing job. I can't quite see the camera from where I'm at, but Patty, you should be able to see your girl Journey. Journey, for those of you that don't know Journey originally was found in Indiana. She has a very twisted up spine. Her spine is off by about 60 degrees, and she has to move by bunny hopping. She can't walk normally. Cannot do any stairs, I'm sorry. Which is one reason she's here is because we have this ramp that we're going to show you in a minute. And that's Wyatt at the bottom of the ramp asking for help to come up. We're going to get him. So Journey, through her travels, ended up with Perfect Imperfections, a rescue up in Connecticut. And we've been working with Tricia a long time. Journey and Wyatt both came from Perfect Imperfections because we have the ramp, we have commercial runner rugs for the dogs. We are very set up to deal with dogs that have mobility challenges, and that's one reason Cooper's coming. Journey is, I'm going to up on 3 years old about, right, Turn? And she's a sweetheart. And this little one, if you can see her in front of me, this little black one is Fenny. She came from, I want to say Tennessee. Sometimes I have so many dogs, it's hard to remember. Fenny is about 2 years old. She's been here roughly 2 years total. She was thrown from a moving car, and she's hard to see on camera because of her black color, but her back end is not good. She can walk, but not normally, and she's mostly incontinent. So sometimes Journey has accidents in the house, Fen has accidents, Mila has accidents, and Wyatt has accidents. So we've got a handful of bed pads we keep down, and we've got carpet cleaner and all that good stuff. But the mess keeps us busy for sure. This little black one right here, this is Roxanne. Let's see if I can. There we go. I'm going to pull Roxanne over here while Mom keeps the other ones busy. Roxy is a tripod. She came up here all the way from the Bahamas not quite 5 years ago. I have shared a before and after picture of her recently on our page. If you search for Roxanne, Roxanne. She was in horrible shape. She had mange so bad, most of her fur was gone. She's a rear tripod. I won't tell you what happened to her leg, but she had to come up here to get the surgery that she needed. She wasn't available in the Bahamas. So we brought Roxanne and 3 other, or maybe 4 other pot cakes up at the same time. We call it the Pot Cake Express. If you search our page for Pot Cake Express, we brought a handful of dogs from the Bahamas that needed medical care. They couldn't get there. There was Corey with a badly broken knee. There was Oreo, who was also a tripod. There was another one, Zoe, that we brought up. There was Flynn that had swimmer syndrome. We got him walked within a week. It was a miracle. But we love the Bahama dogs.
Tara Zoom says I'm here better late as usual.
Good morning, Tara. Snack drawer, you know where it is.
Patty Buffco Temple says Journey's a fast mover.
Journey is. When Journey wants to move, she can move fast. You better get out of her way because she's got very little balance. She falls a lot, but she's happy. So, little piece of trivia for you. If you hear me refer to pot cakes, that's what they call the street dogs in the Bahamas. Horrible, horrible problem down there with people just letting dogs live on the street. And what they do is they actually have the people cook a dish. It's a recipe, and they call it pot cake. They get a big cast iron pan or skillet, and they fill it with rice and beans and things like that, and it's called a pot cake. It's a cake made in a pot. Well, what a lot of the people do to feed these dogs is they take that dirty pan and they put it out with the leftovers so that the stray dogs clean up the pan. And so they got called pot cakes. It's actually somewhat officially recognized, although in our country up north here, not a lot of people know what pot cake means. Wikipedia is a great example, a great place if you want to find more trivia on that. But pot cake is what those street dogs are called. So let's see, we have Wyatt, we have Fenny. So Fenny was tossed from a car. Fenn's the little black one. Tossed from a car in Tennessee. She went to the local shelter. They reached out to us because they thought she was going to need a wheelchair. As you can see, she walks. She doesn't walk normally. I don't want to call it spinal walk, but her proprioception or her placement is not proper. This is Roxanne, the pot cake. This is Fenny over here. This is Fen.
Hope Collins joined.
Good morning, Hope.
She gave a heart when you mentioned the Pot Cake
Oh,
Express
good.
and Corey.
She heard me talk about Corey. Hope that just joined us. She is Corey's adopter. Corey's the one that came in with a broken front leg. Cory. You'll find him on our page. So, Penny, the shelter reached out to us, and at the time we got her in, our intakes were basically closed because we struggle with budget and finding fosters. But they sent me pictures. They had gone to Walmart and bought a toy plastic cart like you would have for a toddler or a small child. And they cut it up and they padded it and they turned this little shopping cart into a wheelchair for her with paint sticks down the side, the tire. And I thought, A, it was amazing, but B, if a shelter is working that hard to save a dog, I'm sure Seth's going to step up and take her. So Fen made her way here, and she's a good dog. So I'm gonna ask Noel to go down and grab Wyatt. We'll bring Wyatt up here because he hasn't been introduced yet. Now these guys that you're seeing right now, excuse me, I've got some throat issues going on today. These guys that you're seeing today are all sanctuary dogs. They're staying for one reason or another. Journey, for instance, Journey cannot do a single step, so she has to have a ramp. Her hips are so bad on X-ray, it's not funny. I keep waiting for her to dislocate a hip when she bunny hops. And we think she's got a type of hypoplasia too, which again is that undeveloped motor coordination in the brain. So due to her size and physical issues, she's staying. Now Wyatt, who's over there in front of Mila, the golden retriever here, Wyatt came to us with Journey for Perfect Imperfections. He has an amazing personality. He loves everybody. He loves all dogs. He loves the cats. Wyatt does nothing wrong. He was born with hunchback dwarfism. So about halfway down his back, he's a little deformed. He can only spinal walk, and he's incontinent. So, but he's an amazing dog, and he and Journey are incredibly bonded. He originally came from Oklahoma, I believe, and there was a wonderful foster out there who did water therapy and things like that with him. And he made his way up to Perfect Imperfections, which is where Journey came from. And so Wyatt and Journey, they came to us about a week apart a couple of years ago. So just real quick, somebody answer up. Audio, can you hear me okay? Video, can you hear me okay? Give me a thumbs up if you're getting too much glare from the sun or I need to change something. That's the only way I'm gonna know if you tell me. So somebody give me some feedback, please.
And train in the background. Wouldn't be galleon morning on the deck without a train.
That's true. So let's oh, here's Journey. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about I'm gonna pick up I'm gonna wait.
Nancy needs thumbs up on the audio and the video.
Thank you, Nancy. So before we finish,
Same with Patty.
thank you, Patty. Before we finish, right now I've got the camera on a tripod so that you can see most of the dogs and how they move. And you can see Mila the Destroyer, that's her nickname. Charlie, please. Mila the Destroyer, she has no concept of where she's at with her wheelchair, so she will run these guys over in a heartbeat. Most of them know to get out of the way. Poor Wyatt, though, he usually doesn't. I'm going to slide him out of the way, folks. Come here, buddy. This way. Thank you. Good boy. I don't get him. So this is Mila. Now, if you watch her head movements, she's very spastic. She doesn't have good control. And so she will headbutt you. She will run you over. Hi, buddy. But she's a sweetheart. We had a big party for her when she turned a year old. We had about 75 people show up for an afternoon with coffee and cake. And I'll tell you what, Mila came to us from a breeder in Maryland, up near Baltimore, and even she came in for the 1-year birthday party, and it was one of the most memorable days we ever had. Our newspaper locally actually put it on the front page. It was pretty cool. Mila's a good girl. Yes, I know. And she bangs her head like a rock star. I don't have a toy in front of me, but if she gets the right toy, she will bang her head and do her paws like she's doing now. She's just loving life.
Coach says they are so excited.
They are. They're not used to the commotion. They know something is different because we've got the camera up, and I usually sit back. I have a little corner over here. So they know it's a little bit different today. Plus, Mom was smart. She brought a handful of treats out with her, so that's why Mom's come up. By the way, Journey, when Mom is home, Journey is a mama's girl. Now, I work from home. My job is taking care of the rescue. Mom works a normal job. When she's home, Journey never leaves her side. I almost don't exist. I have Journey all day long, and at night, Journey's my girl. But everybody loves the mama. Be careful, Mimi. So, any questions about what I've said already? And if not, we'll talk for a few minutes about Cooper. But I think we covered all this. You're going to see Hawkeye. Hawkeye's running out in the yard. He's the white, excuse me, marshmallow-looking Pyrenees. Hawkeye's story is pretty funny. He was born to a local breeder who thought he was deaf. That breeder was going to put him down, so they passed him on to another breeder. That second breeder assumed he was deaf because that's what she was told. Well, she raises Aussies. And so, as Hawkeye grew, he got to be too much for her. And so, we brought Hawkeye into our rescue thinking he was deaf. And we love blind and deaf dogs. They're really easy and they're good dogs. Well, about a day later, we figure out Hawkeye can hear. Now, he's a Pyrenees. If you know Great Pyrenees, they're just stubborn. They think for themselves. They listen if they want to. So Hawkeye's not deaf. Hawkeye has no special needs. He's the only typically normal, healthy dog we have here. But he's kind of the pack leader, and he's the livestock guardian dog for our livestock, and he does a great job. Now we have Xena and Sarge. Those are the two German Shepherds you see on our page. You're not going to see them today. We shuffle groups around because there's personality conflicts, and so we have to manage that. And it's just not the right time today to do this. So you'll see them on another.
Tara Zoom asks, are you going to do this every week?
Tara, good question. Thank you. Right now, we're going to do this once a month. Every week gets to be a lot. Well, we manage the dogs and with the weather and everything. So we're going to do it the second Saturday of every month. Now, we have it scheduled on our Facebook page. If you look at events, it's scheduled now. I think the next one is November 8th. Don't quote me on the date, but you'll have to look. We also have one scheduled for like December 11th-ish. As the new year rolls around, we will make adjustments. If people would prefer to have them on a Sunday or a Saturday night or whatever, we'll make adjustments. And as we get a YouTube channel set up, we'll go to a YouTube live because as the video producers, YouTube is a lot easier for us to give you a technically good presentation. But monthly, Tara, second Saturday of the month at 10 o'clock, now through December. Good question, thank you.
She says, oh, I get it. It's a lot, I get it.
Yes. For those, a lot of you don't know Tara. Tara has a wheelchair dog named Lily. Lily was shot as a puppy and paralyzed at 6 or 8 weeks old. And back when we started Rescued Rollers, our main thing was not rescue so much as supplying free wheelchairs to dogs that needed them. Because a typical dog wheelchair like Mila's is over $500. And so what we would do is we would take these donated wheelchairs, like the one that Emily Anderson sent to us, we'd refurbish them and give them to a dog in need, whether it's shelter, rescue, even individuals that couldn't afford it, right? We want to help these dogs. Tara was the first local person that got a wheelchair from us for Lily. And so we've had a long association. And the cool thing was Tara used to do mobile grooming. And when we had Ranger, our first wheelchair dog here, Border Collie, and a few of the others, we had Cheyenne, who was blind and deaf. We had a handful of them that needed grooming. And Tara was gracious enough to bring her van over here and her friend Annie, and they would groom our dogs here at the house for us. And that's why we have a joke about the snack drawer. She knows where the snack drawer is in the house, and she's got the combination to it. Yeah, so she gets it, and she's got a handful of dogs too. She totally gets it. So do we have any other questions before we talk about Cooper? I'm going to save showing you the ramp probably until last, because I have to move the camera, and I'm not sure how that's going to work out. So while this is working for us now, let's have our discussion now, and then we can show you the ramp. We can talk about Cooper if everybody is ready. If you have questions about the dogs you've seen or something I may have skipped over, just shout. We're just having coffee here, folks. That's why you call it Coffee with the Crew.
Fen, Hope Collins says Fen is getting around pretty good.
Yes, she is. When Fen got here, we actually, the day she arrived, we fit her for a wheelchair. This is Fen right here. I'm not sure how well you can see her. This is Fen here. She's out in front now. That's Fen. She will scoot a lot, especially if she's in a hurry, because she scoots as fast as lightning. But she's walking about 90% of the time or more, which is enough. She's standing up, if you can see her now. Right here. This is Fenny. So she has come a very long way. I'm really tickled with her improvement. The good news is she loved these other dogs, and so she gets her exercise. She loves playing with Wyatt, wrestling with Wyatt. She tries to harass Journey, but Journey's pretty mellow. Journey just basically takes one big paw and rolls her away. But all the interactivity she has with the dogs is fantastic for her coordination and her muscle condition. Fen is one that uses the ramp a lot. Obviously, Mila uses the ramp. Wyatt uses the ramp. Journey uses the ramp. Roxy uses it most of the time. She prefers it to the steps. Most of our dogs prefer the ramp. That was a really good. We had a fundraiser about 2 years ago, right before Journey got here, or the week that Journey got here. And I'll tell you what, that's been a lifesaver, because Journey used to have a full body lifting harness on, and I would have to carry her down 4 stairs from the deck to the yard, because she can do 0 steps on her own. Same with a few of our other dogs, like Mila, obviously, in the chair. And so we put this ramp up, and these dogs love it. And maybe it sounds silly, it's just a ramp, right? But I want you to imagine this, and Patty, I'm sure you'll get this because you had Journey at your house, if I remember correctly. Patty fostered Journey overnight on her travels up to Perfect Imperfections. Journey, when she was, let's say she was a year old when she got here. It's close, right? Up until that time, she could never, ever go outside by herself. Somebody had to take her out and let her off the steps. You know, help her down the steps or up the steps. Or she'd be in the house, or she'd have to stay in the yard. This ramp, during the summer, we leave our back door open. It's just a screen that they can walk through. It's a magnetic screen. Journey can come and go into the yard and back up and into the yard like a normal dog. Like, here comes Hawkeye just coming up. Journey can do that now. This ramp has given her so much freedom, it's not funny. And the same thing with Wyatt and Fen and a few of the others. So this ramp is a much bigger deal than what we originally expected it to be. But to be able to give Journey the freedom to come and go like a normal, healthy dog, it's priceless, right?
Grace Chase Vance, good morning from Illinois.
Hey, Grace, good to have you join us. Good to see you.
Patty Baco Temple question. Why did you decide to get involved with special needs dogs?
You know, I'll try and keep this one short, but that's a special question for me, Patty. I've always loved dogs and I love animals. And before we started the rescue, and by the way, in July we'll be celebrating 10 years as a nonprofit. So we've been doing this for 10 years. So I guess you're gonna make me show how old I am. Before we had the rescue, I love dogs. I was volunteering at a wildlife rescue. And I had a good relationship with the animals. We worked with eagles and wolves and bobcats and foxes. I mean, it was crazy. It was heaven for me. I decided at some point it would be nice to have a rescue of some sort. And I assumed it would be wildlife or even a parrot rescue, some sort of animal rescue. Well, jump ahead a little bit. One of my favorite breeds is a Border Collie. I saw an ad for a Border Collie in a wheelchair on one of these, like a Craigslist site. He was 4 years old, he was paralyzed, and the owners were getting rid of him. And they wanted 40 or 50 bucks, and nobody was interested in him. And I knew nobody wants a Border Collie in a wheelchair. It just doesn't happen. So with help from one of our now board of directors, Howard, who was working with all Border Collie rescue in Texas at that point in time, because Ranger was in Texas, we arranged transportation to bring Ranger up to Ohio. And learning how awesome he was and the fact that he just thought he was a normal dog, he just used his wheels. That is what convinced us to start the rescue. And we decided that the special needs dogs needed far more help than healthy dogs or little puppies like a lot of rescues do. And so we decided to go with special needs. Ranger, by the way, was the inspiration for our logo. He was a black and white Border Collie. We sent an artist a bunch of photographs of Ranger, and our logo, the cartoon character of that wheelchair Border Collie, that's Ranger. We told her we wanted something happy and easy, and that's what she came up with, and we love it. That's all based on Ranger. If you do a search on Ranger, R-A-N-G-E-R, you'll find him. I think we lost Ranger over 5 years ago. It's been a long time. But he came to us in, I want to say 2015, and we started the rescue in 2016 based on him and his needs and seeing what was out there. That's as short an answer as I can give you, Patty, if you want to understand everything. Sorry if I babble, but I do.
Found a picture of him. See if I can post it.
So let's talk about Cooper for a minute. Cooper is with a rescue called Northwest Alabama Shetland Sheepdog Rescue down in West Virginia. Almost 2 years ago, Cooper was found after a storm, and people were unable to locate his owner. So NWAL took him into their program. They usually do Shelties, so Cooper is full-size collie, rough coat collie, so he's a lot bigger than their normal cases. Well, it ends up Cooper had some minor mobility issues. He was Lyme positive, and after getting him to the vet, they discovered he was bleeding from his rectum. And so what I understand from the medical at this point, and mind you, I don't have his records yet till next week. He's been treated for Lyme disease. They removed a non-cancerous mass from his colon. He's had a couple of dentals, lots of x-rays and blood work. His back end, it's a possibility right now. It might be DM, degenerative myelopathy. We're not sure till he gets here and our vets can look him over. I have seen his x-rays that were taken this year, and his x-rays, he looks like he's 2 years old. He doesn't seem to have any arthritis or like spinal defects that would cause mobility issues. Nancy is going to be kind enough to meet me in West Virginia next Saturday, the 18th. That's when Cooper's going to join us. Once we get him here and I get a chance to go through his medical records, we've got a plan for some supplements that we use that we've had good luck with. Turmeric golden paste, you've probably heard me talk about that before. Methyl B12, a few other things. We've got the ramp. We're going to be able to do some physical therapy with him. I've already got a full body harness set up for him. And we'll get him to our vets and work on a plan. We've got a really excellent set of vets up here that we use. Now, Cooper is somewhere between 11 and 12 years old based on his DNA and on his physical. So, you know, one thing I want to put out there right away, Cooper's probably not going to be available for adoption, okay? A typical collie lives 12 to 14 years old if they're in good health. Cooper's already close to 12, right? Plus he's got medical issues. We're not going to bounce around a dog at that age. So my assumption at this point is he's coming in as a sanctuary dog and he'll stay with us. Not something we had planned on at the moment, but it's what he needs, and we're set up for dogs with his issues. So it's the right thing to do. It's the right time. So, you know, all of that is subject to change. However, that's what we're working with right now. We'll know more. I'm going to be back with him Saturday about dinner time next week and do introductions. And then Sunday and Monday of next week, we'll start to get a feel for his personality. I'm told he's a gentle giant. Our plan will be finalized once we see him, interact with him, understand his physical issues, and also, you know, get to work with him a little bit. Ramp's going to do him great because he can only do 1 or 2 stairs right now. He usually needs assistance with stairs. That's a change from a year ago. I know a year ago I was told he would jump into a vehicle like to go to the vet. I'm told now, not so much. He's really got to be lifted in. He can't really help. So there's been a progression in a negative way in terms of the severity of his mobility issues, and that's the reason he's coming here, because that's our specialty.
Tara says, I love collies, one of my favorite breeds to groom.
Good.
And
Yes, we're gonna need a groomer.
Patty Bajo Tempo, I know volunteering at a local shelter with dogs takes a lot of work. Do you have local volunteers to assist you?
Great, Patty, thank you. Unofficially, yes, Patty. We do have a lot of people that offer to help us. The problem is we are a foster-based rescue, and these sanctuary dogs, they're not with fosters, they're with us. And so I'm limited in the amount of people I'm gonna have to my home, obviously. And I feel bad saying, hey, volunteer, come here and clean up poop in my yard, because I do that, right? So what we do have, and our volunteer program is probably going to expand next year. We've got a lot of stuff in the works for next year. It's gonna blow your mind, but we're gonna save that for the next live chat. What we do have is people, local people that volunteer to help us with events. Our neighbor, Vicky, is on our board of directors. She's very good about helping us with events or things like that. The neighbors, Steve and Vicky, have actually fenced off about half of an acre in their backyard for us, and it is for rescued rollers. We have signs on there. It's a rescued rollers training and socialization area. We do have people that will help with transports or volunteer dog food and supplies. Those are always welcome. So we do, and there are some people and some groups, like the Winford Interact Club, sometimes FFA. Some of these kids will want to come over and take the dogs for a walk. Now, that depends on the dogs we have at that time, because a lot of our dogs can't walk, right? So, yes, Patty, we do have some volunteers that help with things like this. We had Gretchen last year, who was doing fantastic on the fundraising, and we have Emily right now down in Virginia, several states away, that has done fantastic with some of these events. But local volunteers is really hard for us to find an actual use for them, other than helping at events. If we go do an 8-hour public event with the dogs, sometimes we need somebody to relieve us so that we can use the restroom or just walk around. Or me, I'm a smoker, I have smoke. Sometimes somebody to shuffle the dogs, that kind of stuff. So we don't have a whole handful of volunteers like a typical rescue would. Ideally, we'd love to have sanctuary. If we had a sanctuary property, then we could have volunteers come help us maintain the property and work with the dogs, do dog training, that kind of stuff. But in my private residence, it's just, I'm weird about that.
Talk about the like share comment.
Oh, yes. One of the things I want to thank you, and I know she's not on this call right now, but Patty from Florida, you guys have been doing a fantastic job on liking, sharing, and commenting on our posts. I want to tell you why that's important, okay? Facebook, we have 8,500 followers, okay? There are posts that we have Facebook will show to 3 people. I kid you not. So what happens is when we're sharing these short little videos or anything really, if you like it, Facebook's goal is to keep you on Facebook as long as possible, right? If you like content, you're telling them, hey, I'm here because I like this. The more you like, comment, or share, even if it's just, hey guys, Facebook sees that as a positive. And for the last 4 or 5 weeks in a row, every weekend, I'm getting a message from Facebook that we've expanded your reach because you're sharing good content. And they see sharing good content as getting lots of interaction, right? People watching the videos or liking, commenting, sharing. So that's something you can do for free to help any nonprofit that you follow. But if you like, comment, share, that is actually huge, because what happens is it starts with a small group and Facebook expands and expands, it snowballs, right? And the more people that see what we do, the more dogs we can help. That's what it translates to, because those people need help and now they know where they can get it. Sometimes we need help and those people are willing to help us. Everybody wins when Facebook expands our reach. So thank you. Our interaction the last couple of months has been going up and up and up. I really appreciate those of you that are taking the time to like and share and comment. It means a lot. It may sound silly, but it actually means a lot on Facebook.
Nancy Hurley says that's really good to know.
Yes. It's a big snowball effect. It really is. You may think it means little or nothing. Oh, just I like that, but I'm not going to bother clicking the button. Honestly, it makes a difference the way Facebook shows our stuff to people. And at the end of the day, more people seeing what we do allows us to help more dogs. So liking, sharing, commenting as a whole helps us to help more dogs. It's really that important, specifically to Facebook.
Patty Baca Tempo says that I really enjoy your post. Sharing them is the best way I can help since I live so far from you.
I appreciate that. And Patty, I got to say, because you're special, for those of you that don't know, if I remember this correctly, and Patty can correct me if I'm wrong, Patty actually fostered Journey overnight in her home on her way up to Perfect Imperfections. So Patty met Journey before I did. And every year she's got Journey's birthday written down and she mails treats for Journey. Journey's got a favorite treat, duck jerky. And Patty's got it on her calendar. Every year we get a package of like 5,000 pounds of duck jerky for Journey. So, you took care of Journey. That's all the help. I'm grateful for that. Journey is amazing. We've never had a St. Bernard in our families growing up or in the rescue. Journey was the first. And she's just a happy dog. She's just a love dog. She's always happy. I can't say enough good about Journey. I'm so glad she's here. But yes, like, share, comment. That's extremely helpful, Patty. Excuse me. So do we have any more questions? We're heading towards 11. Do we have any more questions before I give you a quick show of the ramp, which is just going to take a minute? Questions about Cooper, if I can answer them. Questions about any of the dogs. Questions about our fundraisers. Anything at all is fine. I mean, we're sitting having coffee. This is what we do. These guys have finally settled down. Let's see if I can get Hawkeye up here, because you guys did not get a good look at Hawkeye.
Then just
Do you have any left? Hang on, guys. I just gotta. Yeah, Wyatt. Everybody knows when almost the treats. Hawkeye, where are you hiding, buddy? Psst. Hawk. Come here, bud. Good boy. Come on. So this is Hawkeye, and he is Hawkeye right here. Buddy.
Just got him.
I got him. He's a big marshmallow. He's a sweetheart. He does not take these treats very easily, so don't yell at him. Sit, please. But Hawkeye's the one we thought was deaf, and he's the only one we have that's perfectly healthy. But he is fantastic. He's a big baby, but he is the protector here. Here, Hawk, one more. There you go. Thanks, buddy. And Hawkeye and Roxanne are pot cake. Those two are buddies, just like Journey and Wyatt. They tend to hang out with their favorites, and it's Hawkeye and Roxy, and Wyatt and Journey. And Fen fits in wherever she can. Fen loves these guys. Now, you're going to hear Hawkeye bark, see him go down the ramp. Neighbors are letting out their dogs. Now, Vicky is, the wife is on our board of directors. They've been very supportive to us for years. And they fostered 2 blind and deaf dogs for us. They failed on both of them. So the good news is we've got Crash and Iris right next door. Get to visit with them all the time, and we're available to help if they need advice or anything. The other piece of good news there is discussing about Cooper, the dog, the collie that's going to come in. I don't want him far away. I want him here at my house because of our setup. But if there's a personality problem, let's say, something unforeseen, Steve and Vicky will foster him right next door, so I will still have 24/7 access to him. So it works out really well.
Nancy Hurley, such a pleasure to spend time together with you. You're definitely angels. I look forward to meeting you next week with me.
I'm looking forward to seeing you too, Nancy. And everything you guys are telling me about Cooper, it sounds like he's a gentle giant. If many of you may remember Ginny, the Sheltie mix we had here that had seizures, I'm getting the impression that Cooper is a lot like Ginny, where he's just mellow and well-behaved and just really a non-issue. Some of our dogs, as you can see, are a handful here and more work than others. Ginny was a non-issue, and it sounds like Cooper's going to be very similar, and I'm looking forward to meeting him. So, okay, not a whole lot to show you.
47.
Yes. We'll go ahead. If you guys don't have questions, I'm just going to show you our setup for the dogs really quickly, very briefly. And then we'll call it a day. So let me pick up this camera. Brace yourself, guys. I don't want to make you sick. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. The phone's being weird. There we go. Okay, there's our crew. There's a little different look, maybe with less glare. Am I still online? Can you still hear me and see me?
Yes, I can still see you.
Okay. So, we got Mila, crazy Mila. We've got Wyatt over here hanging out. Hawkeye. This is Fen, who wants to be in the middle of everything. We've got Journey, and we've got Roxy. So, we have this deck set up for the dog's safety. The first thing we have here is a gate. When the weather is bad, like the yard is muddy, Mila has to stay on the deck. So we have a gate here to keep Mila safely up here. And we also have a gate here. This is our wheelchair ramp to the yard. So we close this gate, or we have a hose right now on a metal carrier that we put there, and the big dogs can still go through and use the ramp, but Mila cannot. And so a couple years ago, 2-3 years ago, we had a fundraiser. I was thinking of building a wooden ramp for Journey and Mila, our wheelchair dogs. And Fenny, let's see if we can do this. Do you want to take a walk, Mom, and call them? This way you'll get to see some of the dogs use the ramp. Let me get down this way. You can see them come up. A few years ago, we decided to get a ramp. I was going to build one, and we decided, here comes Journey on the ramp and Wyatt. See, so this way they don't have to go downstairs. They can have free access to the yard. And the yard is a mess right now. We've been in a drought, so we have this ramp. We did a fundraiser, and within like 3 days, we raised enough to get this ramp. And we had a local mobility store, well, 1 county away. We reached out to them through one of our volunteers, and he gave us the ramp at cost and donated some pieces that we needed. We needed special rails. These aren't typical rails. Usually the side rails are like this. We needed special ones so our blind and deaf dogs would not fall off the ramp, off the side of the ramp. But they came up, dropped it off, and Jason, one of our volunteers, who also adopted, here comes Mimi, who also adopted a tripod pot cake from us. Jason came over and we spent a day installing it ourselves. So this ramp has been huge and very much worth doing. Now this kennel, the dogs, no dog stays in this kennel, period. This kennel is for, perfect example is when, oh, there's Journey. She is so beautiful. I love Journey. Man, isn't she gorgeous? So this kennel, Cooper's a great example. We bring Cooper home next week. We have a couple of dogs. We take over to the neighbor's house and we meet them on neutral territory, right? So for the introductions. But if we have a dog that, let's say, doesn't like Cooper very much, I can be inside the kennel with Cooper and Noelle could be out here with that dog and they can get socialized through the fence, still interact, but safely. And we've had a couple in the past that have, hi guys, we got Mila and Fenny, and there's Journey, and there's Wyatt. But we use the kennel, we've had a couple personality conflicts in the past with dogs that are now gone. And so, if we have dog issues out here, we can throw one in the kennel real quick and close the door and separate them very easily, even when I'm here by myself. It's easy to manage because, there's a lot of dogs here sometimes. And they don't always get along. Right now, we typically have 3 groups that we work with, 3 groups of dogs in our house because of personality conflicts. So like Sarge will come out by himself or he'll come out with Wyatt or Mila. Xena has to be out here by herself. Xena likes to challenge everybody, and so she needs to go to a home with no other animals. She's a fantastic dog one-on-one, but she really needs to be on her own. I'm trying to reset this for you guys, and it's not. There it is. It's just slow. Now, how do I change cameras again? Sorry, folks. Facebook Live is a little odd. So, Xena, I'm trying to get us both in here. Xena, we're just going to look at Noelle and the dogs that she's treating. That's easier. Xena is a German Shepherd. She came to us from the local Humane Society. Physically, I love that I can't see how to rotate this. There we go. Physically, Xena is fine, but she has an autoimmune disorder called PANIS. And what happens is, I am sideways. There. Easy, guys, easy. All right, technical difficulties here. Anyway, Xena has an autoimmune disorder that affects her eyes. She has to have 2 different eye drops twice a day, morning and evening. If she does not have the eye drops, then she will lose her sight. She'll go blind. So that is Xena's special need. Her medicine's a little bit expensive, and she's a handful. So technically, she's available for adoption, although we highly doubt that we're going to be able to have her adopted. Now, Fenny over here is also technically available for adoption, but because she's completely incontinent and she has frequent bouts of giardia, which means she leaves trails of diarrhea through my house all the time, she's going to be hard to adopt. She is also incredibly selective with people. She's not good with strangers, and even half strangers like our vets. She's a handful. So she is technically available for adoption, but realistically speaking, I think she's going to be a sanctuary dog here because I don't think we're going to find somebody that she'll tolerate to adopt her. So I guess, unless there's questions, folks.
Emily Anderson says you guys are amazing. Love your setup.
Well, thank you, Emily. We don't think we're amazing. I get that a lot, and on a personal level, it is a little uncomfortable to be given a compliment like that. I am blessed to work with these dogs. These dogs are hard. I won't argue that. And Mila is really hard. But, however, people always ask me which one's my favorite. And I can honestly say They all are. Each one of them is special in their own way. And I learned something from every single dog that has come through this rescue. And, you know, at the end of the day, I have to say goodbye to a lot more dogs. There's Journey. See, all by herself. She couldn't do this before the ramp. I love this. Good job, Jern. Good job, Jern. So I lose a lot more dogs than the average person because the ones that come in here are not healthy. And it hurts. But I always feel blessed because they loved me. They know I'm trying to help them. They're happy here. I got to share their life with them. And I don't care if it's like Journey, like if you look at her now, that's her standard posture. Her spine is so crooked. She walks sideways. She's not turning her head. That's how she stands, right? People look at her and they're not interested, but they don't realize she thinks she's a normal dog and she acts like a normal dog. And she is amazing. And I am so grateful to have her and to have Miss Roxanne, my pot cake, and Fanny here. So, I benefit from having these guys here too. But thank you, Emily, and your support has been very important, especially for bringing Cooper in. And hopefully on November's Coffee with the Crew, you'll be able to meet Cooper. You'll be seeing pictures of him this week, starting on Saturday probably. So, and folks, it's going on 11, so now's the chance to ask your final questions. And then we're going to wrap it up because we're going to have to rotate the other crew. And I know we're slightly lagged. That's okay. I'm not in any huge hurry here. But these guys, we're lucky to have them. Come on up here, Hawkeye. In a minute, buddy. I'll get you Wyatt. The sun is playing havoc with the lens. I want to really thank you guys for everybody showing up. I appreciate it. This tells me it's worth doing again. You tell me. You going to come back for another one of these months?
They are. I'm seeing comments. Can't wait to see Cooper and Journey lying together on the deck.
Great.
That's Nancy.
Great.
Patty.
Thank you, Nancy and
for all you
Patty.
do.
Okay.
Hope and Corey sending hearts.
Awesome. Hi, Corey. Okay, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up so I can help Wyatt get up the ramp and switch these guys out. Thank you for spending some time with us. I love talking to the people that I see all the time on Facebook. This has been nice. And I'm glad you get to see some of the dogs because I'm really proud of these guys. They're pretty cool dogs, and that's a big part of our mission is to let people know that, hey, they're just normal dogs, man. So they move different or you have to talk to them different. That's okay. Thank you, everybody. Hope you all have a great weekend. And next week, we got Cooper coming. We're excited. We'll see you then. I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Thanks, everybody. If I can figure out how to do that. Thanks, guys.